Right, we have arrived in China for round 2 out of 16 for the Formula Fridays Championship here at ISRL Esports. Hello and welcome. I'm your host, Fallen Monkeys, joined as always by my co-commentator, ISRL Asunik, as we're just getting ready to kick things off for this one-shot qualifying session. And it looks to be some cloudy skies as the drivers are just getting their setups ready, getting ready to hit the track and kick things off. Now, just to give a bit of a rundown for potentially any new viewers here, as Passassin is the first to hit the ready up button to kick things off for the short qualifying session, we've got one-shot qualifying, 25% race, as I just saw some rain flash onto the screen, so maybe a little bit of a wet qualifying session here. And just to get back to that, the 25% race, then of course, after the 25% race, a reverse grid order 5-lap sprints. So tune in, of course tune in, sit back, relax, grab something to eat, grab something to drink. It's going to be an exciting race as we're just about ready, I hope, to kick things off. Now, I'm just going to check. Asunik, are you here with us? Hearing us okay?
Absolutely. How are we doing today?
I'm doing fantastic. Hope you're doing fantastic as well. I'm excited for some racing. Now, as we're just getting ready to kick things off into the one-shot qualifying session, what are some things we should be looking out for? As I always ask, leading into the race.
Expect everything. It's the mix of the different divisions that's gonna make things interesting. If you need to absolutely nail your qualifying lap to put yourself in the position to race with the guys you normally race with, because some people might be slower than others, some people are faster, so look for people to get each other's way. And good luck with this one-shot quali. It's so hard to keep track of. That top just keeps glitching up. It shows you how close it is.
Yeah, it keeps moving around, and of course, drivers who invalidate, you've only got one lap to do this. So if you do cut the corner a little bit too much, get an invalidation, that can mean you're starting right from the back of the grid, which can definitely hinder things here in this 25% race, where you don't necessarily have too many laps, to work with. But of course, as we were mentioning, with the reverse grid 5-lap race, there could potentially be a little bit of a strategy play involved in terms of getting a bit of a better starting position for that second race, for that 5-lap sprint. But looking at the order for the time being, it looks as though, for the most part, we've got lots of drivers just looking to get that quali lap in. I'm seeing Ezat, Sweet Crown 19, Rotation, Josh 2. Some of the 4 drivers we're probably going to be expecting to see at the top of the order. Well, at the top of the order, as it looks to be, Isaac Kush, who's going to be taking pole with a 129.277. So he will be starting in first come the race for the 25% race, and potentially put himself in a great spot to get a strong finish. So I'll just take us through the order here. As I said, Izat Kush on pole with that 129.277. Sweet Crown 19 not too far behind in second, with ISRL Rotation rounding out the top 3. Passassin 72 in 4th, Sophion in 5th, Pretzels in 6th, Ix in 7th, Dark in 8th, Krishna in 9th, and Knight rounds out the top 10. Free choice attires here is Chill Mo in 11th, Joseph Cozy in 12th, Aizen in 13th, Monkey Mafia in 14th, Callus in 15th, Carter in 16th, Hartman in 17th, and then Josh 2 and ISRL Mushroom actually both disqualified out of the qualifying session, so we'll be starting at the back of the grid. But
that's
now,
what I mentioned, is that continuing this string of success lately. I said last week, he's probably the hottest driver in the league right now. He's absolutely turned the wick up, so.
Oh yeah, I definitely have to agree with you on that one. In terms of, improvement, yes, but just the pure pace he's shown so far in Season 4, in Formula Fridays, in the Tier 1 race, it's something to be amazed by. Like, he's definitely pretty much ready to bring the battle to Sweet Crown 19, I feel. But of course, that's a bit easier said than done, but I think we might get a nice little preview of what we can maybe expect to see on Sunday here, as they will be starting 1-2 on the grid. as we're just about ready to kick off the race in about 5 seconds now. And already done with qualifying, moving into the race.
Yep, expect a little bit of impatience down into turn 1.
Yeah, but we're up to 5 lights and waiting here, 5 lights still, and now we're off for the start of the Chinese Grand Prix here for Formula Fridays. Looks to be a good start for Mizat Kush. Suicar 19 being battled by rotation. They're going side by side through turn 1 to kick things off. It looks as though they're still battling for position here at the front of the order, nearly going 2 by 2, but it looks as though it is going to be Suicar 19 getting that second position. Rotation down to third, and oh my goodness, what happened over here? That's, I believe that's ISRL Pretzels, who had a moment coming out of turn 2 and facing the wall, and most likely going to have to pit to change that front wing early on here in this race. Now, of course, there are 14 laps, but still going to have a lot of ways to go. But back at the action, we've got some moves. It looks like Ix and Chill Mo battling it out, getting very close to one another here. And I think Krishna wants to get involved in that battle as well, as he's practically pushing Mo around that corner. As now the drivers are settling down a little bit, going a little bit more single file. But here we go, maybe seeing a move, the likes of Knight trying to overtake ISRL Dark, but just doesn't have enough room, maybe not enough heat in the tires either in order to get that move done. But now as they're coming down to the back straight, I've got to get some of this stuff up here. Give me a second here. Oh my goodness. Everything kicks off so quickly here in Formula Fridays.
Absolutely. For the most part, everybody's away clean. So aside from Monkey Mafia and Pretzels having a bit of trouble in Sector 2, so they're...
Oh, and sorry to cut you off, but Krishna had a moment going into the hairpin. He was going side by side in a battle with Joseph Cozy and Chill Mo, but I'm not too sure if there's any contact, but he did actually spin the car around and falls down into 17th, but thankfully no wing damage for him as he gets to continue onwards and just lost out in a lot of time.
Mushroom's pitting, he's picked up damage on the front wing, he's getting a change now. Krishna doesn't have any wing damage, so I'm not sure. Trying to see if Cozy... No, Cozy's fine, so...
Nope, so maybe just... Yeah, maybe just putting a little bit too much gas on the exit, losing the back end of the car. Of course, it is a slow corner around that hairpin, so very easy to potentially lose that back end, as we've seen in the past, and as I'm sure we'll continue to see as the season moves on. But looking here, we're following along with I've been following with Josh too for the time being. Sorry?
He's flying. He's up 6 spots.
Yeah,
already. He's our biggest mover.
Yeah, I was gonna say qualified down in 18th after a bit of a disqualification, so maybe an invalidation on the lap time. But it doesn't look like it's hindered him all that much, as he's up into 12th, as you were saying, and looking to catch up to Callus and put the battle in. And look at that, he's already closing up a little bit, but I want to get a little bit further up, as potentially, are we seeing a move? Was that Joseph Cozy on Chill Mo, or was he just, I think actually no, Joseph Cozy might have been defending on the inside, but oh my goodness, at that same corner, we saw Krishna just one lap ago. I think that was ISRL Ix that equally had a moment as he fell down the order, down into 12th now.
Yeah, because Carter's getting ready to go by him on the outside. Yep,
and now we're watching here Josh 2 and Callus finally taking the battle to one another. They were going side by side, but Callus does have the inside line for turn 1 and switches back to the inside line for turn 2, so very good job defending from Callus on the almighty Josh 2, as we're still trying to get the overtake done on Callus, but just can't seem to get it done. But crucially, Callus now overtook Chill Mo, I believe.
For about a second, as he went deep, Chilmo just drives right back by and opened the door for Josh.
Yeah, and that's the thing. And look at that, now Josh and Callus going back side by side, but it's looking now potentially advantage Josh too, as he's just got the nose ahead of Callus, and it looks he will hold on to that P10, Josh too will, so he will continue on his way and looking to catch up to Chill Mo for that 9th and work his way back up the order. Now, crucially, just a little bit of an update for those paying a bit of attention to the battle for the lead. It's still Izat Kush leading the way with Sweet Crown 19 in second, but now we've got ISRL Rotation trying to put the pressure on Sweet Crown 19, but gonna have to watch out because Assassin 72 a bit of a breakout performance last weekend, as we saw, trying to put the pressure on as well. But, oh, what happened to, Sweetcar 19 going into the pits, taking an early pit stop, and maybe trying to get off those soft tires and go to the end. And, crucially, Sophion actually follows suit into the pit stops as well.
Yeah, what are they doing here? Wait, it's
Yeah,
only 10 laps, they can probably manage the mediums, yeah.
Oh yeah, I would think they can as well. Chill Mo and Josh 2 on track, battling it out around turn 1. Look at this, we've got 3 cars now, as I think Callis wants to get involved. And oh my goodness, Chill Mo just got eaten alive by these drivers. And unfortunately, with all of that, ends up going a little bit wide on the exit of turn 2 and losing out on quite a few positions in the process, falling down to 13th. But now Callis overtaking Carter now to go up into 8th. So what a nice little overtaking move, overtaking series we're seeing as, or was it?
Oh
my goodness.
Just snapped the car around.
Oh no. Now he's into the wall and it looks
out.
Oh no, yes. So a retirement of the first race for Ix, and that's not what he was hoping for, as do we have a safety car coming out, or are we just under a full track yellow virtual safety car maybe?
I have absolutely no idea.
Because I'm seeing, at least on my screen, I've got the
safety car
full...
come out on the track.
Yeah, I'm not seeing the safety car, but I'm seeing a full yellow circuit. But normally we would... Okay, so we do have a VSC out. So now, this is actually exactly what Izat Kush was hoping for, as now he, Rotation, I'm sure Passassin's following suit as well. All these drivers who waited that one extra lap now can essentially get a free pit stop, as everyone's kind of been neutralized now under the safety car. But oh no!
And Josh.
Yep, I think you saw the same thing I did. As we're going back green here, Josh takes a 5-second penalty for speeding under the safety car, potentially on the restart.
No,
but
he has a drive-through penalty.
Oh, he's got a drive-through. Oh no,
for speeding under VSC.
Definitely not what he was hoping for here, as Aizen putting a battle on for Hartman, and Aizen practically shuts the door on Hartman through turn 2, taking the line. I don't think there was anything necessarily wrong with that, as it was just a little bit of hard driving, but Aizen goes up into 4th. Hartman falls down to 5th, but looking to put up a fight, but it's going to have to watch out, because Krishna and Izak Kush on those fresh set of tires, looking to make a push. And now we're going to see a nice little 3-car battle here, potentially, in this section here. I think right now it's mostly just Izat Kush and Hartman battling it out, but Izat does get the better of that move on the fresher set of tires, and now crucially going to be able to make a gap to the likes of Rotation, but not for long, as Rotation does make quick work of Hartman as well, as they're both looking to work their way back up the field and create potentially a bit of a gap. Krishna goes way wide around that corner, leading down to the back straight, which let Izak Kush make a very easy overtake, but now they're going side by side. Krishna is with Rotation here on the track. Who's going to get the better of who as they go down to this heavy braking hairpin, and it looks as though Rotation does make the move stick to go up into 6th and to keep up with that push to catch up to Izak Kush, as they're trying to work their way, and that's Aizen diving into the pits for his pit stop, as a few others are going in as well. Josh, too, staying out on circuit for at least one more lap, and I just noticed
also
he's on the...
mention, Assassin jumped Sweet Crown in that round of pit stops.
Oh my goodness, yeah, look at that. So it looks as though potentially the net lead, if we're assuming Josh 2 and Callis are going to have to take a pit stop, well, in theory, Izat Kush from Rotation, from Passassin, then Sweetcar 19, 2 seconds behind on those medium tires. So it looks as though for Sweetcar 19, the undercut didn't quite work as well as he was hoping for. As he lost...
helped out the guys massively.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, definitely helped out True. Thank you for mentioning that, as I mean, I don't want to say completely slipped my mind, but
It's right.
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't take that into account as I was thinking about the strategy, but that's still, had he stayed out Sweetcar 19 for one more lap, he would have been right up in there and probably most likely still would have kept that position.
Assassin's somehow pulled 2-second gap, which just...
but it looks as though Izat Kush and Rotation are practically in a DRS train, a bit of a slipstream train with one another, as now Josh 2 going into the pits, most likely to serve that drive-through that he took for speeding under the safety car earlier, as Rotation sets the fastest lap of the Grand Prix so far. And that promotes Callis into the lead. Izat Kush up into second, but with ISRL Rotation right behind and just waiting for the right time to get the move done. Probably going to be done sooner rather than later, I would think, with the way he's been oh so close behind that pink car that Izat Kush is driving. But look at that. Thought about going around the outside, but no, didn't quite have enough room there. But Callis still with a nice little 5-second gap, kind of doing his own race on the medium tires. But I'm sure Josh 2's strategy definitely got thrown out the window now as he finished serving that drive-through, but he's going to have to dive into the pits once again to put on that fresh set of boots to go to the end of the race. But potentially might do that, I'm thinking maybe in 2 to 3 laps from now, I would think, as we've only hit the midway point of this 25% race.
I wonder if Rotation's going to be able to get... I don't know if... Let me pull up the telemetry.
Yeah, pull that up. We'll take a look and see.
Yeah, he's just not able to catch him on the straight. Izat's getting such a better exit there through the end of Sector 2 and start of Sector 3 that he gets a massive run down the straight, so...
Yeah, it might
Sector 1 kind of... Oh, sorry, keep going.
No, I was just thinking it might just be a fact that maybe Izat Kush has a bit of a better setup geared for straight line speed rather than corners. Of course, China's a little bit of a balanced circuit in the grand scheme of things. It's got some slow corners, some fast corners, long straights. It's got a little bit of everything, so definitely something for everyone. And really, it's up to the drivers to find a setup that works best for them. And this is the kind of intricacies that we're going to see, where, once again, Rotation right up close behind here in Sector 1, but I'm sure, potentially, once again, we're going to see Izat Kush just growing that gap just a tiny little bit through Sector 2 and Sector 3, barring a potential mistake, as potentially just the better straight line speed setup, as I was mentioning. Now, hang on, Callis and Joseph Cozy got very close. It looks as though Callis was able to get an overtake done, as he did pit for the soft tires at the end of the last lap. So expect Callis to have a lot of pace here in these next few laps to try to close back up the gap, and trying to close up on that 1 second, right around that 1 second gap to Knight. And you can see the gap closing up very, very quickly, as already you can see Knight right up in his sights, and potentially just a matter of time already now within less than a second. But hang on, I noticed Rotation Izat Kush got very close. No move to be done, as they were just very close in the hairpin. But will this be the lap that we're going to see an overtake for the lead?
Yeah,
and
Rotation's not using any ERS. He's not trying to push him. He's just kind of staying stationary right now.
Yeah. And, well, come to think of it, potentially, I'm just thinking with how close these two drivers have been, and seeing that they can both see the gap to CRL Assassin as well as the gap to Suicar 19, who, let's be honest, are most likely the biggest rivals between the two between them here in Formula Fridays. I'm thinking maybe Rotation's strategy is just, let's keep with Izat Kush, let's not battle with him, and maybe we might see a bit more of a push in the dying laps, maybe a lap 13 or potentially even a last lap overtake from Rotation Izat Kush, just so that way they can maybe help each other keep that gap at around where it's been sitting for the last little bit, 2.8 seconds, just to limit the damage and keep that P1 and 2 battle just between the two of them, and not have to involve two other very skilled drivers that can definitely get the move done if they see the opportunity.
Like, Assassin's up here, really, like, I believe it was, he had a good race in the preseason race at Russia. Had an absolutely stonking race last Friday. And right now, sitting comfortably in a podium over several Tier 1 guys. That's a confidence booster.
Oh yeah, definitely a confidence booster. And once again, I think I mentioned this last weekend in the Formula Fridays, but really putting an early, really kind of putting an early showing as to potentially maybe a Tier 1 seat come next season. Of course, scheduling permits, as I know Passassin does have a little bit of scheduling conflicts with Tier 1 from what I've heard, but he's definitely got the pace. And, I mean, if that scheduling conflict can be sorted out, I know we'd love to see him in the Tier 1 race as just another car to battle it out for them. But we get a nice little sneak peek of that here on Formula Fridays as we've got a yellow flag around Sector 1. I'm not too sure who that necessarily was. Maybe that was Josh 2 just coming out of the pits, going a little bit slow, or maybe that could have been Mushroom as well, as I'm just trying to look at the dots and reflect them based on these multiplayer cars here.
They're switching them up every week on us too, so it's we can get used to it. They're completely different cars every Friday.
Oh yeah, that's the thing. It's completely different cars. So now I've just kind of got to gauge. All right, who am I watching? Where am I on the circuit? And where's the incident in reference to where I am on the circuit with the car I'm watching? And I mean, so far in China, it's been working out. And once again, Rotation and Izat Kush getting very, very close, but still no move being done. But now this gap between Rotation and Passassin has been grown up to 4 seconds now. But hang on, we've got battle on the circuit as Carter and Krishna are battling it out. They were going side by side around the hairpin, but Carter had the much better line and is able to keep onto that P10 as Krishna's down into 11th. But with the help of DRS, are we going to see a move into turn 1? No, I think he lost a little bit too much time in, around the hairpin as Josh 2 overtakes Aizen just a little bit further behind them as they're still close to one another. But Krishna still putting pressure on Carter, still keeping that gap within around half a second. So keeping Carter on his toes here for the for that P10 here on lap 11. So maybe a little bit of a battle between these two drivers as the lap plays out, maybe leading into the next lap, especially down that back straight, I would think, as you've got lots of room.
Rotation's close. Oh, he's going for it here.
Oh, he's going for it. Here we go. Let's switch over, and there we go. We can see them going side by side. I think that's Rotation down the inside line. They get very close together, and it looks as, oh my goodness, no, they're still side by side. I thought Rotation had the move, but no, he doesn't have the move. Izat Kush just gets a little bit better traction on the exit and holds on to that first place. But now we're going to see Rotation try a move down the start-finish straight. No, it doesn't look like he was going to go for it as, oh my goodness, 10-second time penalty for Carter for exceeding track limits. Where was Carter on track? Hang on.
Coming on to the long back straight there.
Oh my god.
How do you do that?
I don't know. I mean, I'd love to ask. Oh my goodness. Sorry, I was watching Mushroom as he's putting a lot of pressure on Pretzels. Made a little bit of a move in the braking zone here, but nothing really happened. But oh my goodness, what happened to Carter? Carter's out of the Grand Prix.
He just retired in the pit.
Huh. I'm not too sure why Carter retired in the pits. Maybe the 10-second time penalty has something to do with it. Maybe he just
had a rage quit.
Maybe
just left the session.
I mean, was there an incident maybe that we didn't see for Carter that maybe broke a front wing and then just out of frustration cutting the corner, trying to just hurry up to the pits as quick as possible? But hopefully we'll see Carter back in time for the second race. Although with that DNF, he's still going to have to start from the back of the grid.
Yep. Rotation just can't get the move.
No, and oh my goodness, that's Joseph Cozy. Joseph Cozy through the swooping right-hander leading on to the back straight. I think Joseph Cozy had a bit of a moment, maybe clipping the curb, putting a little bit too much power on the car, as can be done here around that corner. And he loses out in a few positions, but now he gets back on track and continues on his way. But not what he was hoping for this late in the race, as I believe now we're just starting the penultimate lap, at least on the lead car, or the lead drivers are. So let's actually jump back to this, two-way battle between Izat Kush and ISRL Rotation, as they're getting down to crunch time now if you're Rotation and you want to get that move done.
Gotta absolutely nail the exit just to get that extra run.
Oh yeah, well that's the thing, and I mean it looks as though they're getting very similar. They're getting very similar exits. Not really necessarily much of an advantage to one driver over the other, as it seems as though they're very, very close in pace. But look at that, Izat Kush just growing the gap that much quicker. But now with DRS, are we going to see Rotation make a move, saving some overtake for the next lap as he gets very close, but not close enough to make the move work into the hairpin? As this might come down to the last lap. But where's Izat Kush? Izat Kush has a little bit more ERS to play with than ISRL Rotation. But now I think Rotation is going to try to get the move done here. But he gets forced to the outside by Izat Kush, as now Izat Kush closes them off. A little bit of a switchback move, as now they're going side by side into turn 1, into turn 2 now. Izat Kush does get the inside line now into turn 2, but they're still side by side going through the exit. They're practically in identical times here, and it looks as though Rotation does get the move, but no, hang on, he doesn't yet, but gets the inside line, and I think he's able to just close off Izat Kush. Nothing really wrong with that, as Rotation does take the lead on the last lap of this first race here at the Chinese Grand Prix. But now it's just...
where you see overtakes here.
Oh no! No, normally it's down that long back straight, start-finish straight, not really going into, I believe that's turn 4, the first of the hairpins. But now the big question is, will Rotation be able to hold on to the lead? Because we know Izat Kush has a little bit more straight line speed than Rotation.
Oh, he's got wheel spin on the corner exit.
Oh, who did? Was that
Rotation?
Rotation. Oh, so this is going to be crucial. And look at this on the onboard, how quickly Izat Kush is closing up. And, oh my goodness, wonderful camera angles. There we go, much better. And it looks as though the move has been done here down the back straight. But Rotation does have the inside line. And now they're coming up to a back marker who very wisely gets out of the way. You love to see that. But Izat Kush on basically with 2 corners to go, keeps that position, takes that first back, and takes the win of race 1 by 1/10 of a second over ISRL Rotation. And Passassin gets the podium, the last place of the podium, eking out Sweet Crown 19, who's going to have to settle for a P4 for this first race. Oh my goodness. What a battle that was here, going right to the end. As I've got the little chat open, SMH Rotation. I think we've got at least a viewer who felt maybe the move should have been done, potentially where Izat Kush did the move. But I guess it's a little bit of a learning experience for Rotation leading into the Tier 1 race on Sunday, where hopefully we're going to see this battle pick up right where it left off.
Yeah, that was awesome. You could see that they were just they both knew that if they didn't want to spend everything that their cars had, they had to wait till the last 2 laps.
Yeah.
And we saw in the short series the way Izat was able to defend Josh on the wrong set of tires at Bahrain, and he just defended that well, got past, but like you said, straight line speed that Izat had, and the wheel spin off that corner. Rotation was fighting the wheel, and Izat all he needed.
Well, that wheel spin might have been the make or break moment as well, because potentially, if Rotation didn't have that wheel spin, maybe he just would have had enough traction coming out of that corner to put a little bit more of a fight in going into the hairpin, and push the battle just that much more into the last few corners, and maybe get the win of the first race. But it's still a solid haul of points nonetheless for those 2 drivers, as they get to celebrate the champagne, enjoy the podium, enjoy the moment there. But for those watching at home, Don't go anywhere. We've got a second race coming up in just a few moments. But first, let's take us through the order one last time. Izat Kush takes the win from pole here on the first race, just barely eking out ISRL Rotation, who finishes in second. Passassin 72 in third. Sweetcrown 19, only a P4 for him for the first race, with Sophion rounding out the top 5. Callus in 6th, Dark in 7th, Knight in 8th, Josh 2 in 9th, Krishna in 10th. Azen comes in 11th, with Joseph Cozy coming in 12th. Monkey Mafia in 13th. ISRL Mushroom in 14th. Chillmo in 15th. Pretzels in 16th. Hartman in 17th. And we have Carter in 18th and Ix in 19th. Both DNFing out of the first race, so will not benefit from that reverse order grid, as they unfortunately did not finish the first race.
So the next race, everybody, if you're watching, is going to be the exact opposite of that. You're not going to see the side-by-side racing in the conventional sense, whereas you're going to have 19 drivers on the grid with 5 laps to get the most amount of positions. And for those fast guys who just battled it out, they're going to have to pick their way through everybody.
Oh yeah, and this is definitely going to be something to watch here, so please don't go anywhere. As I'm taking a look at the chat here, just as you can get everything set up. Hartman, I tried to move at the end and almost lost it. Oh my goodness, not what we were hoping for Hartman. But I mean, I love the thought, moving out of the way, just getting out of the way of the lead lap drivers as they were battling it out. But I'm sure in the second race we'll be picking it up. And I'm hoping for a good showing from Hartman as well. Sunic Gaming, that was dope. Yes, it was. Chair Boss, Sweetcrown career over? I wouldn't go that far just yet. But who knows? Maybe we've got a new king here. In the likes of Izat Kush and Rotation. But we'll have to see, especially going into race 2, because this is really where it separates, I guess I could say, the men from the boys, as Sunic was saying. 5 laps, reverse order grid, so you don't get that opportunity to just start on pole and drive a Lewis Hamilton-esque race. You've really got to work for the win here in the second race. Overtake, well, in this case, at least, worst case scenario, probably 18 other drivers, and you've only got 5 laps to do it to try to maximize your position. And of course, you can't get too angsty, because with the 5 laps, penalties can play a much bigger factor than they would in the likes of a 25% race, in the likes of a 50% race.
Absolutely.
So it'll definitely.
It's just all about being patient, and as we saw so far, that's thrown out the window.
Oh yeah, definitely thrown out the window. Even more so in that 5-lap sprint. But of course, China's one of those tracks. I mean, we've already seen some overtakes in places that maybe we're not overly used to seeing them traditionally. So maybe a little bit more of the same with this 5-lap sprint. Maybe overtakes going into turn 4, the first of 2 hairpins. I mean, maybe overtakes going into the hard braking left-hander before the swooping right-hander. Before the back straight. Maybe a few more moves there if drivers are looking to get ballsy enough to get it done. But now we're just waiting for the grid to be set up to get the cue to kick things off, and we can jump right into the second race. But of course, it does kick off very quickly once we jump in. So I know
pole position's gonna belong to ISRL Hartman, and Izat, who just fought for the win, will be starting 17th.
Yeah, oh my goodness. This is going to make things extremely great. I've said it so many times before, and honestly, I think I'm going to keep saying it because I can't stress it enough. It's just going to be so exciting, so hectic watching this 5-lap sprint, and I'm just itching with anticipation to kick things off. But, Hartman starting on pole, that's a great starting position for him, and even the likes of, I think that's Pretzels, who's potentially going to be starting on the front row of the grid with them. as we've got Sophie on here now. As I don't think he was in the... Oh, no, he was in the first race. I see he's got 10 points now. Just jumped out of the car and jumped right back in there. Just getting all of that set up. I can hear rain likely. I'm so scared. I mean, here in the commentator's booth, I'd love to see rain.
I want to see rain.
It'll
I 100%
make
want to see it
Oh
rain.
yeah, yeah. We'll have to see if the gods of F1 are going to well, bless us
The
as
gods of
commentators or curse the drivers with a wet race for the 5-lap sprint, because that's gonna throw
We saw it
such...
last week.
Yeah, I mean, it's gonna
Saw
throw...
Mo fend off the entire field to come on P2.
Yeah,
He starts
maybe.
third.
And that's another point that we can bring up too, where as a driver that you've got these fast drivers that are starting behind, maybe that's the strategy for the 5-lap race. You really got to hold them off for 5 laps. Of course, China does open the door for a few more overtakes with that very, very long back straight. But oh, look at that. I don't think we're going to have any rain, at least from what I'm seeing here. It looks as though it's just going to be cloudy. So, I mean, I guess the gods of entertainment met us halfway. They brought us the clouds, but not the rain. Now, drivers, if you're watching this, do not hit that ready up button. Load your setups. Or don't, if you want to have that much more of a difficult time. So, of course, it is something that can be very easily forgotten in the second race, as we're so used to qualifying. But no, gotta load your setups if you want a chance to do well here in this second race, or else you're gonna have a bad time.
Yep. It's not much in terms of strategy to go over.
Well, no, it's gonna be... That's the thing.
Someone's gonna have to pit.
Oh yeah, we're gonna see somebody going into the pits potentially for a wing change. I'm just sure of it. But realistically, in terms of the pit stop strategy, it's gonna be a no stop. Realistically, I don't think we're gonna see any safety cars either in this 5-lap race. Honestly, I don't think there's enough time for a safety car. Or honestly, I'm gonna hope there's no safety car, because if there is a safety car, that basically just takes away the entirety of the 5-lapper, I would think. But we are just waiting for the cue here.
Alright, the anticipation is killing me.
Yep, anticipation definitely killing me here, as we're waiting for the cue to kick things off. But those watching at home...
the most overly patient bunch.
Yep, and there we go. Izat Kush is the first to kick things off. So we were going to be kicking things off ourselves in 20 minutes. But thank you so much, everyone, for tuning in. We're just about ready to kick off Race 2 here for Formula Fridays, round 2 out of 16 at the Chinese Grand Prix. Izat Kush did win the first race by just eking out ISRL rotation, just as a little bit of a sit rep here. But we'll be starting at the back of the order with this reverse grid start. The timers hit 0, and we are just about ready to get started. We've got 3 lights now, 4 lights, 5 lights, waiting, and we're off to kick things off for race 2, 5-lap sprint, and already Pretzels makes a move. A terrible start by Hartman, and I'm seeing wing damage flying everywhere as Pretzels takes the lead. Mushroom in second, Mo all the way up into third, and Joseph Cozy and Monkey Mafia battling it out here very early on, and somebody's around. That's Krishna going around. Not what he was hoping for to start the race. But he's going to have to kick things off, but maybe a pit stop that we're going to see from Krishna. Knight battling it out with Passassin. They're going side by side here. Passassin already up into 9th. I don't know how that happened through the span of 3 corners, and it looks as though Knight is still going to be holding on to that P8 with Passassin down in 9th. Callus, rotation battling it out. What happened to ISRL Hartman as he started on pole, but falling down to 14th? And maybe losing out in another position to Dark. Did you get to see what happened there?
He did not get going off the line. Like, absolutely did not get going. And unfortunately, I believe it was Azen ran up to him. He was parked pretty much in the middle of the track. The speed difference was... He didn't get a penalty, but it's just... He's started P1, he's down to P14.
Alright, but now something I do want to make mention here. Crucially, from starting at basically the back of the grid, look who's up into 6th. None other than Sweetcrow 19. So what a start from Sweet Crown 19. As we saw from Passassin, they just got such a jump off the start and really growing a gap now. But we've got a nice little battle here on track between it looks as though this is Izat Kush trying to get a move. He's past Knight for 9th, trying to make a move on Monkey Mafia. Rotation and Callus battling it out a little bit further behind. They're going side by side. Sorry?
Did he just get 2 cars in that first little complex with the long right-hander and then to the left? Is that?
I think he might have. Yeah, because I thought he was behind the likes of Knight. And Knight, actually, speaking of Knight, overtakes Monkey Mafia on circuit. So Monkey Mafia down into 10th. Rotations and Callus have still been battling it out. But for now, it's advantage rotation as we're seeing some pit stops. Sweetcar 19 up into 5th, overtaking Mo. We've got a yellow flag. Who is that? That's Rotation. Oh my goodness, Rotation having a moment as he's off circuit, getting back on now. But that's definitely going to hinder his push to keep up with Izat Kush. As now Izat Kush. Sorry?
Callus collided with Rotation. Rotation got curved, and now Callus has big wing damage.
Oh no, so that's actually going to hinder both the races here, and on this 5-lap sprint, it's not what you're hoping for. Passassin overtook Chill Mo down the back straight. We're seeing some moves here. That's Izat Kush overtaking Passassin down into the hairpin. Passassin trying to make a push back. Not necessarily a place we're going to see it here, but maybe down the start-finish straight. We're going to see a move. Maybe, potentially, but no DRS to help out with just yet. As now they're catching up to Joseph Cozy, who's driving in a solid P5 here in the second race, here on lap 3. But now now can he defend from the likes of Izat Kush and Passassin, who are right behind, just waiting to get that overtake done. And look at Izat Kush making a lunge down the inside, going into the hairpin. I think there might have been a little bit of wheel contact there, but nothing to be too worried about. As Cozy down into 6th, and now Passassin trying to make a move around the outside, but it's not going to work here around that swooping right-hander. As I think they're just carrying too much speed, not much room unless you get really, really ballsy. But crucially, Sweetcar 19 up into 4th, Izat Kush into 5th. So here, 3 laps in, we're seeing these. Oh my goodness, there's some contact between Joseph Cozy and Passassin. Getting the elbows out here are Cozy and Passassin here, at least around this race in China. As now Passassin trying to defend down the inside. Cozy follows suit, but might need to make a move down the elbow. But no, Passassin goes back to the outside here of the hairpin. But a little switchback as Joseph Cozy goes deep.
Beautifully done by Passassin.
Yeah, what a nice little move. Just saw that one extra move ahead and got the move to stick on Cozy with the lovely looking switchback. But we've got Callus and Dark battling it out. It looks as though Dark gets the overtake done, going here. Where are they? Through turn 1 into turn 2. As much as they're sorry.
X absolutely crushed the wall.
Yeah, so not a Chinese, not necessarily a Grand Prix to remember here for Formula Fridays, but for ISRL X. Now, a little bit more of a battle here for 16th and 17th. It's Sophion and Krishna battling it out as X leaves the session as he's, I believe, hopefully a broken car here in the the exit there, and it looks as though he is in the wall. But Pretzel's still leading the way with Josh 2 not too far behind. And that's ISRL Mushroom in the last podium position.
Fighting for his life right now.
Yeah, fighting for his life on with Streetcar 19, looking to close up. But hang on, look who's right behind Streetcar 19 and looking to make a move himself. It's Izat Kush.
Mushroom!
Mushroom defends down the inside, but Streetcar 19 tries to go to the inside.
Oh, yeah.
A little bit of a move here. Oh my goodness, we've got 3 wide through the exit of the hairpin, and I think Mushroom is going to get the worst of that. Are we going to see them go? No, they're not going to go side by side through that final corner. That's a bit of a safer move there, but now we're going to see, I think, Izat Kush maybe make a push to but no, this is Mushroom making a push to overtake Izat Kush on the last lap of the second race here. But no, Izat Kush is able to hold on to that P4, And I think if you're Izat Kush, you're thinking, I don't want to be fighting Mushroom. I want to fight the driver ahead of me. He's the one I've got the rivalry with. But now I think he might get his chance here later on in the lap. But Mushroom showing he wants to get involved as well. He wants to show that he's got the pace to compete for a podium. But I got to jump back to the lead here because Josh 2 and Pretzels. What? Hang on. What's going on here?
What did I just see?
There was a little bit of a timing glitch there because they weren't necessarily nearly as close as it was there to get the moves to change. And still, Pretzels in the lead, but Josh 2 right behind. But was that what you saw, or were you looking at something else?
It looked for a second there was a car in the gravel, and then it went back. I don't know what I just saw.
It might have just been one of those potentially those little bit of those kind of glitches that we like to see. But here we go. Now, if you're Pretzels, you're going to want to get the move done right here, right now. But I think he's just a little bit too far away from Josh 2, as Josh 2 is in the lead. And look at this. Izat Kush overtakes Streetcar 19. But no, that's a switchback move from Streetcar 19. They're going side by side now into the last corner. And it looks as though Izat Kush is going to get that position. But for how long is it going to... It looks as though... Oh, my goodness. I'm losing track here, but it's
God.
Big wreck here right at the end. As that was right before the line.
Oh my God!
What's going on? Pretzels DNFing right at the line, and that's actually not going to be a qualification for him as he goes.
You've got to be kidding me!
Oh my God! Oh, that wasn't at the line. No, okay. So the wreck at the line between Izat Kush and Sucron 19. I think that was just two drivers having fun. But looking at the onboard of Aizen, look to the right-hand side. You can see him right on the exit of the final corner, pushing a little bit too much, clipping the outside curb, made it so close, but yet so far, and seeing those points basically just slip away from right under his grasp for Pretzels, not what he was hoping for, as that's a crazy end to the second race. And oh my goodness, the hype, honestly, I think the hype we built up for this second race, 100% worth it. So look at that, Izat Kush getting driver of the day.
Yeah, well,
of course, as the game is concerned with that 5-lap race, as we saw. But there we go, and we're seeing the dance. We've got a Michael Schumacher on the top step of the podium, and actually two Michael Schumachers on the podium there. I know somebody's probably not really enjoying this all that much, but honestly, I'm loving to see the Michael Schumacher face on the podium. You heard it here first in Formula Fridays.
I know a guy.
Yep, but there we go. Oh my!
We changed up the format of Formula Fridays to stop this sort of thing.
Yep, but still,
guess what?
Some familiar faces. We've got Josh 2 taking the top step of the podium and winning the second race. Izat Kush going from last on the grid up to second, or last of the running cars up to second, with Streetcar 19 getting that last podium position. Passassin 72 in fourth, and Mushroom rounds out the top 5, so a pretty strong second race from him there. Joseph Cozy in 6th, Chill Mo in 7th, Dark in 8th, Callus in 9th, ISRL Knight rounding out the top 10, Monkey Mafia in 11th, Rotation comes in 12th, Hartman in 13th, Aizen in 14th, Sophion in 15th, Krishna in 16th, Pretzels in 17th, and ISRL X coming in last after not having the Formula Fridays race he was hoping for. But there we go. That's the order for the second race. And what a race that was.
Wow.
Oh.
We just say Izat absolutely dominated this.
Yeah.
This session, this round of the championship. That was all Izat.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, I'm sure he's definitely in the running for driver of the week. Just about every week, but even more so this week after having a dominant pole position to win on the first race and going from 16th up into second in only 5 laps for the second race here of the Formula Fridays Championship.
That was awesome.
Yeah,
that was
definitely hectic, and honestly, I couldn't have expected a better race if I tried. But of course, this is what we've come to expect here for Formula Fridays, and what we've come to expect for just ISRL races in general. Just close battles all around, and this just shows once again just another one to show why this is such a great league and why this is such great racing. But I just want to see, are we getting into any podium interviews here for Formula Fridays?
I hadn't even thought about that.
All right. Well, that's quite all right. I mean, it's a little bit more lax for Formula Fridays. We can probably just save them for Sunday, to be quite honest. Especially considering considering the general podium as well. I don't think we get them to necessarily do too many podium interviews all that much. But
I'm not trying to spec interview Izzat after.
The previous.
Izzat, but you. No.
Yep. We can leave it at that. We know exactly what that is. But I think that'll just about do it for us. Do you have any last remarks, Sunik, before we wrap up the stream here?
Oh, I just want to say, race 1, that was awesome to see those guys side by side, cleanly getting it done too, and quite the opposite. Race 2, thank you for just the pure entertainment there. The Sweet Crown, Assassin, and I want to say, is that obviously that was.
Yep.
We designed this to make it so new guys could feel what it's like to be on the podium, and with the likes of you guys around, but you just went and did it. I mean, a double podium. And it's not like we didn't have a lot of people. We had 19, and started from 16th to go back up and finish on the podium. It's impressive.
Yep, definitely impressive. And honestly, the last week super exciting. And honestly, I wasn't sure how we were gonna top last week, but here we go. We've topped that here this week in China, and I'm excited to see what's gonna happen next week. But of course, we've got the main events on Sunday. Before we can do that, make sure to tune in on Sunday, 11 a.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. Eastern, and 3 p.m. Eastern for Division 3, 2, and 1's race here around the Chinese Grand Prix. But for Formula Fridays, but for Formula Fridays,
next week.
Yep, that's the thing. For Formula Fridays, that's going to do it for us here until next week. Thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed it as much as we did. On behalf of Sunik, I've been Fallen Monkeys. Thank you so much for watching, and have yourselves a fantastic evening.